Warning, spoilers lie ahead for the first 5 episodes of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 3. As it draws closer to closing the spinoff out, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 3 is evolving its titular character, alongside fan favorite Carol Pelletier. Beginning in 2023, the ongoing installment of the AMC zombie franchise has followed Norman Reedus's eponymous character as he ends up in Europe and ventures through the continent in search of a way to return home, while also helping various survivors along the way. After her return as a main character in Season 2, Daryl Dixon Season 3 sees Daryl and Carol now venturing together into London and Spain after a sailboat acquired in the former is swept up in a storm. The duo subsequently become involved in Solaz del Mar, a community of survivors who are lorded over by El Alcázar, a fortress led by supposedly the last of the Spanish monarchy, Guillermo Torres. As the season has progressed, Daryl and Carol have found themselves particularly wrapped up in the star-crossed relationship between Sola's inhabitants, Roberto and Justina, who yearn to escape the annual offering of women to El Alcázar in order to protect their relationship. Daryl Dixon, Season 3, Episode 5, Limbo, saw the titular character racing to Barcelona in an effort to save Justina after she's captured by Guillermo's soldiers, while Carol returns to Solaz in order to help a badly wounded Roberto recover. Both prior to and after the season kicked off, Owen Danoff interviewed franchise bosses Greg Nicotero and Scott Gimple, as well as showrunner David Zabel and executive producer Dan Percival, for Screen Rant to discuss The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 3. The group opened up about the season's cultural and historical influences, particularly spaghetti westerns, as well as Daryl and Carol's Rebirth and building towards the show's final season. With the pair having 11 seasons of story in which they were at the center, Zabel certainly understands that, with each new Daryl Dixon season, it's important he and his writing team are not letting Daryl and Carol stagnate. As the showrunner describes, his goal from the beginning has been continuing to evolve the characters, regardless of if they're new or have been on the air for so long. Zabel recalls his original conversations with Reedus in the early days of the Walking Dead spinoff, as well as McBride when she returned for Season 2, in which they discussed what could be new ways to reveal things about them, while also being careful that new reveals don't contradict the history that we know. Some of the more notable have included touching more on Daryl's childhood and family, including paying a visit to his grandfather's grave from World War II in Normandy in Season 1. When it came to landing on Daryl's Season 3 arc, Zabel felt that the best path forward was really examining what home means to him, particularly given he has been on the move for so much of his life. We start to get glimpses of in these flashbacks, and that is feeding into his anxiety or his confusion about, what is home? What am I trying to do? All I do is run and fight, the showrunner explained. This also leads to Daryl having regrets about the past, which further influences his decisions in helping characters like Roberto and Justina. As for Carol, though, Zabel says she is looking towards the future, affirming that the two love each other while sharing that their very different headspaces won't impact their dynamic or how close they are going forwards. One thing that comes from Carol's arc in Daryl Dixon Season 3 is her growing closer to Roberto's father, Antonio, giving her something of a romance for the first time in a while in the Walking Dead franchise after living through trauma in prior ones. Calling Season 2 her breaking through a wall of inherited trauma, Zabel and Percival describe the Season 3 premiere, in which they emerge from the tunnel, as a rebirth for her. Describing her early interactions with Antonio as going hand in hand with this newfound optimism, Zabel feels that he and Carol have a simpatico that is growing through the course of Season 3. Percival also attributes a fair amount of this storyline to McBride, as he recalled her being very nervous about this arc considering everything Carol's endured over the years. She was very nervous about how far she can take her character, how far she can fall for somebody, or allow herself to feel these things, Percival explained. So, it's an exciting journey for all of us to push the envelope of where the character has been and where they can go.